guys got to start wearing helmets out there now? You guys need to start wearing helmets out there?
I don't wear a helmet when I ride a motorcycle, and I don't play ball anymore, so I don't need a helmet. You should get out of the way. You won't get run over. That's what I told them. So.
What's the challenge against the Chargers this week? What stands out?
Yeah, it's first and foremost their punt return game. You know, he's got tremendous speed. He's really good coming out of college. He's had a touchdown in preseason, and now he's had a touchdown in the regular season. So he's kind of fearless back there. He makes good decisions, and so right now that's the biggest challenge. You know, we're playing against a punter that is certainly familiar with playing in this stadium. He led the league in net punts last year. He has the ability to do a great job of hanging the ball, and now I think he's done a great job of directing the ball as well. So those are probably the two biggest challenges going into this game. And then, you know, correcting some of our problems, the things we haven't done well over the past few weeks or the past 2 months. You know, they're always looking for things that we can do better, right? Try not to let a win or a loss mask your problems. Try to get a little bit better each week and move yourself forward.
Rich, I know you're not going to call your shot like maybe Keyshawn will, but you know, last year he had that return against the Rams, then the Dolphins, then finally took one against the Vikings. Does it feel like some of that momentum's building where he's getting close?
Well, I just think we're still a little inconsistent. Obviously, he would probably tell you the same thing. I think when we all do the right thing at the right time, we have a chance to make some plays, and I think we have. You know, some of the ones that we made earlier, we've had some penalties on, and I feel like we've moved ourselves in a better direction with less penalties the last few weeks. But these guys have really only given up, I think, 4 returns all year. He's got a big leg. You know, Dicker, their kicker, has really played well. He's had 2 55-yard field goals, and another guy that was really played well in college. We like coming out and is playing well in pro football since he's gotten his opportunity, and they haven't given up a lot of returns. And as you've seen, you know, last week in Pittsburgh, guys play against us, play against Keyshawn, they're going to move the ball around. So usually when we know where the ball is going to be caught, we can scheme up some different things according to where we're going to catch it. But they're doing a good job of hitting a bunch of touchbacks and moving the ball around. And we're still going to get those kicks outside the numbers and short as we go through the year.
I just saw Christian Welch on a couple of kickoff covers last week showing up for you.
He's actually been playing. He's been playing on kickoff, and he was in on, I believe, 2 tackles last week, or I know 1 tackle and an assist, and he's playing on punt for us as well, and he's been playing on kickoff returns. So he played every snap on punt return last week too. So we're glad we got him. He's been playing good football for us. He's a solid player. He's real smart, and he's getting himself in position now where he can find the ball and make some tackles.
Those kind of the hidden players outside of the obvious returners that really kind of help.
Say that again, please.
Are those the type of hidden players on a unit that outside of the obvious returners or impact guys on a special team?
Yeah, I think so. I think you know, we've spoken about it in here before. For us, it always starts with the punt team, the guys that can play in the box, that have the right body type to play from wing to wing and play guard and tackle, and also have the ability to run and play in space and cover for us. You know, Isaiah's in there in the box, and Eric Wilson's in there. You know, Dallon's that personal protector, and you know, we think Matt's been playing good football for us at center as well, and now JJ and Van Ness have both played guard for us, you know, inside, and we've played with Tucker, a rookie at the left wing on tight on field goal, who's done a good job there as well. So a lot of those guys have, you know, unless they make a tackle or do something wrong, you don't really know who they are, you know. So sometimes that's a good thing.
Rich, what were you hoping to do on those 2 early kickoffs that were close to the sideline? Obviously, the second one.
Yeah, we really weren't. You know, we wanted to kick with the win for second going in at halftime, and we just decided to go into the wind a little bit, and I just think he didn't get a very good kick. You know, he got away with it on the first one. I think he knows that. I think where we got a little disappointed in him, and he knows, is that he didn't self-correct. You know, he could have moved the ball. There's a couple other things he could have done, knowing that he got away with it on the first one, not to kick it out of bounds on the second one. So, and that's critical for us if we're really trying to play, as we all talk about, complementary football. You know, I think we have a good coverage team, and to put the ball out of bounds, put our defense at the 40-yard line, it's just not good. No different than we get tackled on the 13 on the kickoff return, you know, and now we're behind the 8 ball. And we start the second half with a big return, you know, out to plus 44, and then in the second half we down to punt, you know, inside the 20 at the 9-yard line. So I just think our inconsistency right now is a little bit of the detractor to playing complementary football when we can. So. So we have to do a little bit better job of that.
You know, DeGuara took the blame for the extra point, but would it have been important as well to vary the snap count there?
We always vary the snap count. They just got a good jump on it, you know, and I think it was only our second kick of the game, right, or second field goal of the game. So I thought they got a good jump, and I thought, you know, Joe needs to do a little bit better job with his hands, maybe a little bit on his alignment. We worked on that a bunch last week. We work on it a bunch every week, and we worked on it a bunch this week. So, you know, I've said this many times that blame is a side street to a solution. So Joe's been in there for a lot of kicks that have not been blocked and has done a really good job. So we'll do a better job this week.
Rich, I was asking Kelly if he's the first player that you've ever coached that you might have held as a baby, but I think you got to Tampa Bay a little bit after he was born. Do you remember him as a kid with his dad and being around the facility?
You know, I don't remember him really as a kid, but I remember Brian having him, you know, and then talking to Brian as he's gotten older and then where he was making a choice to go to college. And Brian and I had a good relationship as well as I know Joe did. Joe actually was a GA at Southern Cal when Brian was a player at Southern Cal. So, you know, then I got a text right away, almost before I knew that we had claimed him or we went to get him from Brian about, you know, life's a full circle and to get a chance now to coach a player that you coached at one time and now his son is a good thing. And I'm just really excited that he's a really good-looking young man and takes after his mom, you know, doesn't really look like his dad. So that was good to see. But no, we're excited about him. He has some skills, obviously, in college, and he's played some nickel, and he's played outside, and so he's been running around out there, and we'll see what the future brings, but it's fun to have him.
Rich, have you had a father, have you coached a father-son yet?
I think this is my first that I've actually had with me. You know, I've had a chance to meet Michael Pittman's boys before. I saw Michael when he was at Oregon. I went and did a clinic up there, and Derek Brooks' son, you know, he played at Florida State. I've had a chance to meet him, but this is the first time for me to be old enough to have the father and the son in my career.
Can I ask you a big picture question?
Sure.
Do you believe that in the idea of learning to win as a team, especially with young guys, and if so, what is that process like when a team goes through?
You know, learning to win. You know, we have a lot of guys that have come from winning programs that are young guys. You know, Quay Walker and DY, and you know they've come from winning programs and have won a lot of games. And you know, we have a lot of guys on our team that have been here when they've won a lot of games. So I don't know. I don't really know if I know how to answer that question. I believe in right? Constant, never-ending improvement. I think that is just the only way to go about this sport in particular, which is the one I've been involved in a long time. And these guys, you know, have to go through the mental and physical gymnastics of, you know, 6 days to get to that 7th day and play. And do you actually improve each day? You know, can you actually get a little bit better on a consistent basis, and then take it to the game, you know, and seems for us in the kicking game, it's a one-play mentality. So did you win that play, or did you get better that play, or did you get bested on that play? And I think that's, you know, the challenge. And I think the challenge I've given to them in the kicking game over this past week has been be self-confident enough to be self-critical of yourself when you look on tape. And I think there's always things being written, there's always things being said about players, about teams, about different units. But I think your self-talk has got to be true and honest and critical to some degree. Or are you actually improving when you look at the practice tape? And are you putting yourself in position to play a little bit better when you get to this game? So I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I've talked a lot, sounds long-winded. But I think you learn to despise losing enough to want to win more.